Hello students, today I will discuss the last topic of the unit number 4, that is AC generator. Now again it's an important topic. Now we have to start from the about the introduction of the AC generator. So AC generator means it's a device which convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So such device is known as AC generator. Now the second point is what is the principle of the AC generator. So it is based on the principle of the electromagnetic induction. So in that if any rectangular coil is suspended in the strong magnetic field perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field, then an induced EMF is produced in that coil. So this is the principle of the AC generator. Now next point is what is the construction of the AC generator. So from the construction point of view, there are the four major parts of this AC generator. Number one is the rectangular coil, this ABCD. It has the n number of turns of the copper wire wounded over the soft iron core. It is called rectangular coil ABCD, and the another name of that coil is armature. Number two is strong magnetic field. So this rectangular coil is placed in the two opposite poles of the strong magnet N and S. So these N and S, in between these two poles, a strong magnetic field is produced in which the rectangular coil is placed. Point number three is slip rings. So these are the two slip rings. Slip ring number 1 S1, slip ring S2. These slip rings have the movable contact with the armature. And fourth part is the brushes, metal brushes or maybe the carbon brushes B1 and B2. These brushes are always in contact with the slip rings, and when the slip rings is moving with the armature of the coil, then armature of that AC generator, then these carbon brushes always in contact with the slip rings, and these two slip rings is connected with the load resistance R, and across the load resistance R, output is obtained. So this is the construction of the AC generator. Next thing is what is the working of the AC generator. From the working point of view, first of all we have to start what will be the direction of the current when the induced EMF is produced in the coil. So first we have to start from the condition when the coil is in vertical situation, like this in the duster in my hand. So it is the vertical situation. So when this vertical situation, AB will be in the upper arm and CD is the lower arm, then in that vertical situation, so it is the condition at t is equal to 0, and when it rotates like this and complete the half rotation like this, means CD arms moves up and AB arms moves down in this half rotation. So the time will be taken from t is equal to 0 to t by 2. In that condition, the current will flow in the rectangular coil in the direction of BCBA according to the Fleming left hand rule. Similarly, in the next half rotation, when the CD moves up and AB moves down, then the time from t is equal to t by 2 to t. So in next half rotation, the direction of the current will be in the direction of ABCD, just shown in the diagram. So in the direction of ABCD. In the first half rotation, the current will flow in the direction of BCBA, and in the next half rotation, the current will flow in the direction of ABCD in the rectangular coil ABCD. So this is the direction of the current when it is moving in the moving between the strong magnet. So these direction can be explained according to the Fleming left hand rule. Now next thing is what will be the EMF produced in the coil, and in which situation the EMF is minimum and in which situation it will be the maximum. So when the coil is rotating in the two opposite poles with a strong magnet, then at time t is equal to 0, means from the vertical situation t is equal to 0 and up to the half time period, means complete half rotation like this. So in this one complete half rotation, so at time t is equal to 0, at t is equal to t by 2 and t, means the complete one rotation is divided into 5 situations. Number 1, this vertical situation. Number 2, this is the horizontal situation. Next, number 3, again vertical situation. Next, number 4, that is the horizontal situation. And next, again, this is the vertical situation. So we have to start from the AB arm up and CD arm down, starting from t is equal to 0, it is the initial situation, and next the AB moves down and then CD moves up, it is the second situation. In the third situation again the AB moves down and CD moves up, it is the third situation. And in the fourth situation the CD moves down and AB moves up, again horizontal situation. And at the last situation the AB moves up, CD in the downward situation, and this is the vertical situation. The situation number 5 it is same as the situation number 1 at t is equal to 0. So if we divide the in 5 parts, 5 positions of the rectangular coil at a time t is equal to 0 initial situation, at time t is equal to 2 after half rotation, and t is equal to t after one complete rotation, the EMF will be minimum, that will be equal to 0. In that situation, in all these three, t is equal to 0, t is equal to t by 2 and t is equal to t, this is the vertical situation, one vertical situation and second vertical situation and then next vertical situation. In these vertical situation, the magnetic lines of force is always parallel to the arm AB and CD of the coil, therefore the EMF will be equal to 0. And next, the remaining two timings, that is at the time t is equal to t by 4 and time is equal to 3t by 4, means it is the first situation t is equal to 0, it is then next situation when the coil is in horizontal position. When the coil is in horizontal position, then the magnetic lines of force that will be perpendicular to the arm AB and CD of the coil, in that situation the maximum EMF is produced. Therefore the maximum EMF is produced when time t is equal to t by 4 and 3t by 4, because in these two timings the coil will be in the horizontal position, and the next t is equal to 0, t by 20, that will be in the vertical situation. In the vertical situation EMF is always 0, and in the horizontal position the maximum EMF is produced in the coil. So this is the working part of that, and next is the mathematical part, how much EMF is produced in the coil. So we have to make a small diagram for the arm. So this is the vertical situation, and the coil, suppose this is the position of the coil at any instant of time, it makes an angle theta from the vertical. So theta here equal to omega t, means at any instant of time t, when the coil is rotating like this with angular velocity omega, it makes an angle theta with the vertical situation. So in that condition, when we draw a normal here on the plane of the coil, so that normal makes an angle this. So this is the direction of the magnetic field. This theta will be equal to this theta. Now we have to write the component of the magnetic field. So component of the magnetic field in this situation, normal situation, that is equal to B cos theta, and in this situation that is equal to B sin theta. So these are the two conditions, and B sin theta and B cos theta. So it is normal to the plane of that coil. So then after that we have to find out how much magnetic flux is produced. So when the coil having n number of turns and it is placed in the magnetic field, strong magnetic field B, and area of the coil suppose A, then how much magnetic flux is linked in the coil? So according to the formula, phi will be equal to N B cos theta into A, means normal component of the magnetic field into area of the coil, that is equal to magnetic flux. Because n number of turns are there, so we have to multiply here n. So this is the total magnetic flux linked in the coil at any instant of time t, when theta is equal to omega t. So we can write the equation like this: phi equal to N B A cos theta, and theta equal to omega t. It is equation number 1. So this much of magnetic flux is produced in the coil when the coil rotates by angle theta from the vertical. Now to find out the rate of change of magnetic flux, so we have to differentiate equation 1. So differentiate equation 1 with respect to t we have, so d phi over dt will be equal to NBA, that is the constant term, d over dt cos omega t. So differentiate it, that is equal to NBA cos omega t, that is minus sin omega t, and differentiation of omega t, that is omega. So we have to multiply here by omega. So the complete differentiation is d phi over dt will be equal to NBA omega minus sin omega t. So then we have to write the expression like this, that is d phi over dt will be equal to minus NBA omega sin omega t. This is the equation number 2. Now we have to use here the laws of the Faraday's for the electromagnetic induction, and according to the law we know that induced EMF produced in the coil is always equal to minus d phi over dt. It is according to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Now after that we have to compare the equation number 2 and 3. We have this d phi by dt here, it is equal to E, but minus sign we have to put here, minus, that is equal to minus E minus NBA omega sin omega t. So this minus cancel out by minus, therefore induced EMF equal to E is equal to NBA omega sin omega t. So this NBA omega, that is equal to the maximum EMF or peak EMF produced in the coil. So it is represented by E naught. So where E naught equal to NBA omega. So this NBA omega replaced by E naught. So we will get E is equal to E naught sin omega t. So this is the equation of the current that is produced. So it is the EMF equation, and this equation represents the alternating EMF. So this equation is we have to use in the chapter to discuss the current, alternating current or alternating EMF. So the EMF which is produced in the coil, that will be equal to the alternating EMF, and that can be represented by the equation E is equal to E naught sin omega t. Okay, so this is the last topic, and after that I will give some assignment on the Google Classroom, and then after that we start the new chapter. Okay, thank you.